I welcome everyone to the 6th edition of the Times Litfest Bengaluru. This theme for this year's Times Litfest is Atita, Beyond. And at the Times Litfest, we intend to go beyond the regular pleasantries between authors and readers and create deeper conversations. This year, the Times Litfest Bengaluru is powered by Bharatiya City and State Bank of India and co-sponsored by the Indira Gandhi International Airport, Delhi, GMR. Our fresh food partner is ID. Our official writing partner is Parker. Auto partner, Volvo. Audiobook partner, Storytel. Publishing partner, Invincible. Tea time partner, Tata Tea Gold. Bookstore partner, Blossoms. Happiness partner, Radio Mirchi. This event is an initiative of the Red Cell. Our food court partners are Chayos, Greedy Waffles, Royana, Apsara Ice Creams, Tiger Biryani, Fry Spots, Maverick and Farmer Coffee. Our first session at the tent today is How do the young invest today? This session is sponsored by State Bank of India. And on the panel, we have Mr. Jogish Sahu, Mr. Ashok Kumar, Mr. Sudheer, and this session is moderated by Mr. Sujit. I welcome all the four of you on stage.
Banking and finance sector at some level is almost unbelievable. What India has done with UPI and with digital payments and financial apps, I think many countries are looking at India to see how they can go on that path. And amazing some of the things that some of your companies have done. I know SBI's YONO app, I was looking at Google Play a little while ago, and more than 10 million downloads, has a app rating of 4 out of 5, which is very good. Scriptbox using, I don't know, artificial intelligence technologies and all that to tell you which are the best mutual funds that you could possibly invest in over the next year. Indian Money giving advice to, Sudheer is the one author amongst us. He's written books, one book, more than one book, 2 books. And I'll get to that. He's providing some phenomenal advice to, and frankly, exactly what Ashok is also doing in some level. There's so much to choose from that it's confusing for most of us as individuals to figure out what's the best investment routes. There's a lot of faking that happens as well, a lot of misinformation that happens, which is what Sudheer is essentially trying to clarify. Let me quickly begin with asking you, you know what, for me personally, I use a lot of these apps myself. I use the BMTC to come to work, which basically means I always need some 22 rupees in my wallet to give to the driver, to the conductor. Otherwise, if I give a 50 or 100, I'm never very sure whether I'll get my change back. So whenever I am in a canteen, my office canteen accepts Google Pay. A nearby Canara Bank canteen, which we frequent, accepts Google Pay and Beam. So whenever it's possible, wherever, so that I can keep this 10 and 20 rupees whenever I get it for my bus, I use Google Pay and Beam or Paytm to use for all those 20 rupees, 30 rupees, 40 rupee payments. Unbelievable the pace at which these things happen, the ease with which these things can be done. Just to start off, I wanted to ask you, which of the apps do you use, each of you? Sudheer, start.
Okay, so when it comes to payments, yes, I use all three. I think Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm. Since I think I visit ATMs kind of once in 3 months now. Yeah. So and unfortunately, only one ATM card I had. Even that is being blocked now. I think they've changed it. So I think there's no need of using ATMs cash now, right? So when it comes to payments, yes, these 3 apps. And when it comes to mutual fund investments and all the stocks, I use a lot of these mutual fund investment apps and stock investing apps. And now, apart from that, the convenience you have in UPI payments is actually a lot better. So that is actually helping us, kind of make transactions with ease. That I'm really enjoying.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Mr. Sahu, you use a YONO app?
Yeah, of course, being an SBI, naturally, app is the first choice. And also Bhim SBI Pay. Also Bhim SBI Pay also, that is also for making small payments and all those things. And whatever investments are there in also. So it gives a lot of information, and depending on your perception or your preferences, it suggests which investment you have to do. So that artificial intelligence is already built in that app. So we also take advantage of that, and it is a lot more easier. I mean, you can sit at your home and take decision.
Yeah.
Not going to anybody.
Okay. Ashok?
Yeah, I think just a small anecdote there. I think last I visited my bank is exactly about 15 years back.
Really?
Yeah. So that kind of gives a giveaway, right? In fact, being a company which is helps people save money, people ask me, do you have branches? I said, yes, we have about 300 million branches. He said, how do you have 300 million branches? He said, every phone is a branch today. Right? So I think very clearly all of us use many apps. The fact that I think sometimes I forget my specs, but you don't forget the phone.
Mobile phone.
So that's the
Absolutely.
level of technology infusion that has happened for all of us.
Okay, okay. All of you, just keep the mic a little closer when you speak to the mouth. I was told to tell you that as well. One thing that is happening, I find in our own reporting nowadays, there was a few years ago, there was a time when cyber security people used to come and try and give us stories to Times of India. I said, listen, I don't see any great anxiety among people at large. So I don't think there's a great story to be told. But over the last year or 2 years, we ourselves find our own reporters are reporting a number of cyber crime and through many of these apps, for instance, fooling people into believing that they are actually transacting on a genuine site. So are there risks involved in using this app, and then what are your suggestions? How do you handle this risk?
So when it comes to investing, if I am, if I have the basic education required. So today when it comes to investing, there are two things. One, awareness. Second one is convenience. So at Indian Money, we are basically helping people with awareness. And my friend Ashok is actually helping people with convenience. Scriptbox is all about convenience, and Indian Money is basically creating awareness. And I think all these apps which we talk about, be it for payments or investing, you have this risk because people are not, they're not educated enough to make a difference between a Ponzi app, literally an app to fool the people, and a genuine app. They find it difficult because I meet people every week through my workshops and other programs, and I see a lot of them who have invested in various cryptocurrencies because of their greed.
Okay.
So they invest in cryptocurrencies thinking that they're going to make double money in 3 months, 6 months. The greed actually drives people, and same time the same greed is being used by these scamsters to fool the people. So it is important that we create an awareness among the people, common people, about the challenges they'll have, the risk they will have in using a lot of these apps, like Google Pay. Many people, let's say Google Pay or Phone Pay, you have this option of requesting money and paying money. Many people don't know. When, let's say now I make a request to receive 10,000 from you, and I call you and say, hey, I'm transferring 10,000 to you, please accept it. And people don't know the difference. They accept,
Exactly.
and instead of paying you 10,000, I take 10,000 from you.
My goodness.
And common people are not really aware of it.
How do you handle something like that? I mean, for common people how do we educate such a vast number of people in some sense?
Maybe I think these apps will have to, take up various, education programs through regional languages.
Okay.
Because most of these apps are in English, and they don't have many tutorials or education videos in regional languages.
Okay.
Probably if that happens, things should improve.
Okay, okay. Mr. Saud, YONO app, perfectly secure and all that?
Yeah, so far there is, in all technological platforms SBI has, it's the robust one, and so far no fraud or nothing has been reported, and we are absolutely sure about that. And what my friend I just endorsed to that. In fact, awareness is the biggest game changer. Unless we think about awareness among the public, the things will not improve. And to that extent, we have been doing our best. In all our branches, every Friday we used to conduct awareness camp at all branches. All our customers were invited, and we share among them what are the concerns, how to use these apps and all those things. Also in corporates where we have the maximum presence, there also we take a slot at least twice in a month to give a awareness for financial literacy camp we organize. So that's why that is being going on in a very extensively, and we are targeting to cover all the branches at least within a year. We have to cover everything so that the awareness among the masses will be there. The lure of getting the money doubled in 1 year or so, that will not be there. So the people will not fall into trap what the camsters are doing now. So that is the initiatives we have been doing at our end.
These phishing attacks and all that, you have to, awareness is only the only
Awareness
answer
is
to
the
it.
only thing. Otherwise, it is very difficult to control because fraudsters are always come out with new modus operandi, how to bypass the system and get the thing. So every time we have to keep on changing our system, first of all, and we have to keep on informing the customers and bringing out awareness among them. That is the only key to preventing all those things.
Okay. Okay. Ashok, I'll ask you something else. On these new age technologies which you employ very effectively, I guess, can you shortlist thousands of mutual funds into some 8 or 10 through your algorithms which figure out that okay, for the next 1 year or so, these mutual funds might, believe based on our analysis that these will give the best returns, and you suggest that people should invest in them. Is that the model even now, and how well is it working?
I think you're right. The algorithmic selections make sure that the objectivity is not lost. I think like Sudheer briefly touched on, when it comes to saving and investing, all of us have a greed and fear. Greed meaning, kitna return milega? That's the first question. Fear meaning, as soon as you see the headline saying that investors lost 1 lakh crores, you might have lost 1,000 rupees, but the headline scares you as if you lost 1 lakh crores. So, over a period of time, what we realize is that awareness is very important to helping people understand. Second thing is keeping it very simple is very important. So, over the last few years, I would say we become more a behavioral tech company than a fintech company. Even on the earlier point on security, whatever happening in the physical society is happening online also. As much we are evolving our technology with from 16-bit to 32-bit to 62-bit, 128-bit encryption that we put in our app so that nobody can hack it. But I go back to what my mother used to say when I was a teenager. Did you lock the house? We used to have a steel bureau, and in the steel bureau there will be something called locker. Right? All of us remember, some of you can recall. But today when it comes to phone, आपको सब कुछ जल्दी चाहिए, अभी चाहिए. So you don't lock the app, you don't put the proper passwords. I think we all have become very lazy when it comes to changing the password regularly. अरे याद नहीं रहेगा. So I think to a lot of times I think the security aspect is very important. Security is also a lot to do with the behavior. So therefore in our app sometimes we make things slow on purpose. In fact we get some customer complaints saying your app is very slow, you're asking too many authentication questions before I access my account. I say, you know what, it is in your interest, you might hate me, but if you make it faster, you're going to have a security trouble sort of later this thing. Coming back to algorithm and artificial intelligence, there are enough technologies out there. I don't want to list all of them. But can I emotionally control the customer to kind of stay invested, whether it is up or down, for a long enough period of time so that the money beats the inflation is the basic proposition. Because otherwise, if money doesn't beat inflation, how much are you on? Anyway, I think with a very lighter note, today also when you open a newspaper, the full spread ads on spending, very very small ads on saving, right? So therefore, I'm motivated to spend more than save, and same thing applies to youngsters or all age groups, right? So,
Okay, so that brings us to the topic of the day. So what? Youngsters are spending more than they are saving. Is that generally true?
I think marketeers are doing a better job on spending, advertisements, spending reasons, vis-a-vis saving reasons.
Okay.
So, because why I am saying is that today, I think, now even older generations also I can paint in the same brush. We are a young country, right? 65% of India is below 35 years. So, we are instant gratification generation. So, anything that has a delayed gratification, not just saving, even when it comes to fitness, right? So if you say you will get six pack in 6 years, you'll say, what? Can I get it in 6 days? You can only sell a bodysuit for 6 pack. Right? Think about it. So I think that's where I think I would not blame the youngsters saying that, I think when we were, let's say I'm now 40 something, when I'm 20 something, this much technology were not available for me to get instant gratification. I think that's the battle youngsters are going through. Apps like ours are trying to help them educate and put some kind of a educative sense in them, saying that when you save and invest, you buy the future. When you spend, you sell your future. Right? So that's what we've been trying to highlight. I would say.
Okay. Sudheer, if you could break up the people who come to you for advice and all that, the youngsters, what kind of questions do they have?
See, the common problem we see with a lot of these youngsters who come to us, where do I invest? Or I'm planning to invest here, should I invest or not? Then we say hold back. That's not how you invest. There is a way to invest. So number one, we tell them, if you want to invest any money in any investment options you have, first you ask yourself, for what goal is this? Do you have an investment goal? You don't invest just because you want to put some money in it, right? You have a goal. What is that? Second, decide what is the investment period, the time horizon. So now when do you want to achieve this goal? Right? Today, all these days we are used to kind of investing in some investment option because the agents used to reach out to us and say, buy this policy, buy this investment, and we used to do that. So number two, we ask them to check on the time horizon. Number three, once you decide on the time horizon, then we ask them to put a price tag for their goal. How much do you really need? Let's say you want to retire by 2040. How much do you really need by then? So put a price tag for it. Once you put that, then you map the risk level. So if it is a long-term investment, you can comfortably go for a high-risk investment. But then, once you map the high risk, the risk level, the different risk level, no risk, low risk, moderate risk, or high risk. Once you map that, the next step comes to, okay, now you will have to map the returns. If it is a high risk investment, you can expect approximately this kind of returns. And the next step is, once you're done with, mapping the risk and the return, then you will have to choose the asset type, whether it's equity, real estate, or gold, or debt. What is that? What is the asset type? Then comes to investment option, whether it's a large cap fund or a mid cap fund. What is it? We'll have to choose at the end. But unfortunately, most of the millennials, they're in a hurry to invest and they just go to this investment option directly, which is not right, because when it comes to health, we say precaution is better than cure. But when it comes to money, precaution is the only cure. There is no treatment for it. You fall into a trap, you are out.
Okay.
That's it.
Absolutely.
So it's important that we help them take that precaution and they make wise decisions so that they don't, fall into a trap later.
So how many of them do you think actually take your advice?
So today we advise about 35,000 people every day. We've so far helped about 64 lakh people. And we have both free advice and the paid advice.
Okay.
People, about 35,000 people take free advice daily. Yeah, and a small portion of that they even go for a premium service.
Okay.
we only advise. We don't sell any products.
You don't sell.
No.
You don't
It's
intend to.
just fee-based advice.
Okay. Okay.
And where we investing in mutual funds, it is just that habit has to be cultivated. You need to really guide them better,
Okay.
and give them the clarity on where to invest and how to choose the right investments.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Sahu, what are the trends you see amongst these youngsters? Where do they invest in real estate at all anymore? I mean, there's this whole argument that they prefer the rental kind of arrangements, not buying a house, not buying a car. You have Uber, Ola, you can rent a house. Is that really true or?
Yeah, in fact, in this connection, I would like to draw attention to the interview given by Mr. Bhargav 2 days back. You see, the Maruti Suzuki, they are now planning to make all the rural and semi-urban center as their hub center. Because now in the metros and say tier 1 cities, people are not preferring to buy cars because of the traffic congestion and all those things. So they want to have a public transport system rather. So that is what you told is absolutely right. And investment pattern, in fact, I am in the banking industry for the last 30 years. And there is a paradigm shift in the investment pattern.
Yeah.
You can say. I mean, Generation X now coming to Generation Y, there is a whole lot of changes, and now the youngsters, this millennial, in a recent study by ICC Lombard has done in 2017, in that around 70% of that their earning they spend.
Okay.
Okay. So only 30% they are into investment, not exactly saving, investment. And while coming to investment, they are driven by their peers' decision. I mean, they don't make any informed decision. So now that all these advisories and the financial consultancy firms have come up with the app and all these things, so I think this will naturally help them to take a decision. But whoever is investing, now they have clearly shifted from debt fund to equity fund.
Okay.
Because their risk appetite is more, and whoever having surplus, they want to invest in mutual fund for a longer horizon.
Okay.
I mean, in our branches also we have dedicated persons who are for giving financial consultancy and telling them where to invest, what to invest. And now that interest rates in fixed deposits coming down, and yesterday again it has come down, and it is going to come down further in the days ahead. So naturally the shift will be there towards mutual fund, and that is what government also wants, because the mutual fund investment, it goes directly into the industry. So it brings in the economic activity or whatever it may be, directly. But fixed deposit, whatever is there, it depends on how the credit uptake happens. Then only the utilization happens. No? So government is very clearly pushing the things to go, and if we really want to have 5 trillion economy, and if we really want to be a developed economy, we have to move in that direction.
Okay. Okay. Ashok, going by what Sudheer and Mrs. Sahu and all are saying, you are the big beneficiary. I mean, both of them kept saying mutual funds is what a lot of people are shifting to.
No, I think I concur to all the points, but I want to highlight one key data. See, today the number of PF accounts, Provident Fund accounts, is a proxy to organized employment.
Okay.
That's around 8 crore people. But today, people who are actually investing in market-linked products like mutual funds or stocks is less than 2 crore people.
Okay.
And if you take it as a percentage of the country, adults, it's like 2.5%. Whereas in UK, US and UK mature market, it is 35-40%.
Wow.
Because of various schemes. So we have got a job cut out to do. We have a long way to go, I would say. But I also want to draw attention to 3 key trends we observe. I mean, as a company, being online company, our blog is now read about 1 million people, which is roughly 10 lakh people reading our blog. There are comments, there are questions, so we have a lot of insights. We are a month away from Women's Day, and I'm sure that Women's Day is not just a cliche tick mark event. I think most organizations, and I think as general population also, we take a lot of note of gender equality and pay and various other things. How about your investing quotient? So that's one trend we've seen. As a company, we've seen that because of this educative approach we took, 28% of our women are women investors, women young investors.
Really?
So that's a big 28%. That is almost, I'm told, is almost 2 or 3 times of what traditional investment they used to do.
Okay.
So because in big cities, obviously there is an urban mobility, there is a work. So working women today, young working women today, I think are looking for avenues. You know, first of all, we as a country we are savers, but within that, if among young population, women are even bigger savers.
Okay.
Right? They are now moving to mutual funds. To me, is a big trend because there is a clear awareness. There is fixed deposit, gold, and real estate. These three are our saving. What our parents or grandfathers told us. Now I think with the need going up, people are realizing, like Sudheer said, oh, my goal is to buy a home faster. My goal is to, holiday. My goal is to do something on my own or to pursue higher education, whatever it is. You need lot more money than, small money that you needed for those things. I think people are shifting. There is one big trend that we are seeing. Other thing also I want to highlight is that we are doing our bit because the educators, 70% of our customers also first time investors to mutual funds. What I mean is they never been investing in mutual funds. I think by simplifying an algorithmic selection, I think there is a lot more thing one could do. And we are doing our bit. I'm sure there are many more things are possible as an ecosystem is something I want to touch upon.
Okay. Are there any new investment categories that are emerging?
Not much in that way, but I think mutual funds, the SEBI's initiative to bring in this direct mutual funds and all that, what has happened, that has actually brought in a lot of the trust factor in the common people. So when they understand, see, all these days it was financial products are mostly sold, not bought. Right? Investments were sold to people. But today, because of the transparency brought in by the regulators, people have started purchasing. For example, even in the case of term insurance. So we had term insurance plans sold by agents which were very costly. But then IRDA brought in this concept called zero commission products, wherein there is no commission to agents, and these are mostly sold online, where the premium is almost half of the normal traditional term insurance plans. So because of that, the term insurance adoption I'm seeing it's really going up, and there is a lot of awareness in that way. So I think it's all about not just bringing in new concepts, but making the product simple and transparent. If that happens, people will start using those products, which is essential.
Okay. So, Mr. Sav, SBI is also seeing, your traditional areas like real estate, automobiles, all those, the growth rates in the cities are slowing down?
Real estate, if I speak of Bangalore, Bangalore, because of its transparency in the real estate sector and the very structured, organized way of doing business in the real estate sector, Bangalore has not seen that much of slowdown what happened across the country. Bangalore, I can say, is a city apart from the rest of the metros or rest of the area. Even after demonetization or GST, when the real estate sector really went into trouble, Bangalore has never into that trouble. It has never degrown, what I mean to say. And the things have started improving. Per quarter sale of your houses, and it is going up. From last year it was 8,000 per quarter, now it has gone up to 10,000 plus. And inventories, whatever there, it is coming down. Last year it was 82,000 roughly, now it has come down to 62,000. So there is a 12% reduction in inventory. So the Bangalore market is very stable. And it has so far withstood very nicely the slowdown in infrastructure. But auto sector, yes, it has seen a lot of turbulence. And what we are seeing in Bangalore also, the vendors to industry majors in auto sector, they are into a lot of, because the demand, sluggishness in demand, even they are cutting down their shift from 3 shift to 2 shift. So there is a lot of impact, and in auto sector definitely there is a lot of impact.
That's because of Uber, Ola and all that?
No. Because of the overall slowdown in the auto sector.
So are the people individuals not buying?
Yeah. There is a negative growth. It is going on for last 1 year. So it has a direct impact on all the ancillary industries down the line.
Okay.
So it is very much visible. But in Bangalore, at least, the real estate sector is robust.
Anybody from the audience wants to ask questions? Anybody? No? Anybody? Let me ask about gold. Gold, what do you think? Is it a worthwhile investment at all?
Gold historically is like a, it's like opposite of stock market. When the stock markets are going up, you will not see gold moving up.
Okay.
Gold remains stagnant. When the stock market going down, that's when even the property price going down. That's when gold moves up. What happens? All these large investors, they basically park their money during that time. So gold, I recommend not more than 5% in their portfolio. Number one. Number two, I also recommend not to invest in gold jewelry because that at the time of purchase itself you have the
Risk and charges and all
25%
that.
loss there. Yeah, and the third one is this 5% as well. People can actually debate. I mean, it's not required really. It's not really required. It's not a I won't consider that as a wise investment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I just want to add something on gold, right? So I think one is looking at the charts and other things, and I kept saying that as a company we become more behavioral company. So today, the moment I had a girl child, my mom's first call is that start saving gold. Right? I think there is a more of an emotional value to gold and even real estate to a large extent, rather than a rational value. So I think Sudheer touched on it earlier. I think to a large extent it depends on what's your goal. From here now, if I need to go to airport, if I run, it's going to take X number of hours. If I take auto, it's going to take Y number of hours. Then if I take a taxi, it's the only way I can catch the flight, for example. Right? So depending upon the goal, the speed of the asset has to change. Right? For some goals, it might be a gold could be a answer, but not all the goals can go at a walking speed. I think 30-year chart shows that it is just not even beating inflation. Then that's not asset class to invest.
okay.
Just thought I'll add.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sanjana and I'm from Mysore. So, Bangalore is known as the startup capital, right? So, for youngsters like us and the billionaires as you refer, how do you advise these youngsters to invest on startups? How?
In startups?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that is. I know people who, but
It's very interesting. So I think you should come and see me and Sudheer in our office. That's the see in the sense that invest through startup or invest in startup are two different meaning. If you got few $1 million, then you can obviously start your own startup. Otherwise, a good place to start is work with a startup or take a project or an assignment to learn what happens in a startup. And let me go back to one of the quote my uncle told from my hometown. Is startup is a new word for businessman, right? It is just that when you add technology to it, it becomes very fancy.
Yes.
Then it comes in newspaper headline, you think it is really sexy. But in reality, it's a fundamental business. What problems you're trying to solve for the customer or a segment, and what they teach in marketing, and then give a solution which is different from other solution. You're delivering it through technology. That's a startup. I'm sure either of us will be happy to talk to you offline to give you more gyan on this.
And just to add one thing, in fact, a lot of youngsters, they also participate in startup investments today. One, you have this, if you have, let's say 5 lakh, 10 lakh kind of money to invest, you can actually join some of these angel networks and start investing in interesting startups. Second, there are a lot of these crowdsourcing platforms. There you can invest as little as 5,000, 10,000 as well. So, normally, a lot of these crowdsourcing platforms allow you to invest as little as $100. So, you can even invest in those platforms.
Thank you so much.
okay.
Hi. How much do you see the traditional platform for investing
Can you
getting
keep
disrupted
the
by?
mic a little closer to you? Yeah.
If it's fine now?
Yeah.
So how much do you see the traditional platforms of investing getting disrupted by these discount brokers? Like we have 5paisa or Zerodha or those sort of guys. Because I'm sure all of you would have 20 years back maybe less people would be investing. But now if you look percentage wise, maybe like for me, more guys are moving towards the discount brokerage platforms. Or option to invest in stocks as well as mutual funds, gold, whatever we are discussing.
No, I think there are two types of buyer. I think you yourself can ask. I already know that for headache, I take certain tablet. I go to medical store, ask that medicine directly. Then the discount broker thing is the best idea. But I don't know what's the problem with me. I might have migraine or I might have sinus problem. I need to first discover. Then you need to go to a platform which will give you education, advice, understand, all that. See, sometimes there is a danger, especially for youngsters because of technology. All apps are available. There are 3 apps with one click of the button. But if you don't know what's your problem, you end up taking a wrong medicine. Then you may need to end up going to the, possibly hospital, get admitted. I think that's the analogy I would like to give. But I must say that yes, traditional businesses are getting disrupted. But disruption in our country, given our low penetration, I was telling to Mrs. Sausar a little earlier, is that all of us have a role to play to grow more participation, and their technology can help. It's not one versus other yet in India. It's about 20 years away, I would say.
Hi, my question is to you, Sujit. One of the panelists alluded to the fact that media usually carries very large communication around spends and very little communication about investment. Is that a planned strategy or is that something just a reflection of the society?
My best guess is it's a reflection of society. I know we are not planning this honestly, but I guess that we are just reflecting what people probably want to read is my my gut feeling. Yes.
In fact, we struggle to reach the main news item after 1-2 pages. What do you call envelope or something like that?
Okay, thank you.
But I know this investment. So you are saying we don't pay enough attention to which are the best avenues to invest in that kind of stories?
Actually, I'm aware of some of the articles that cover on saving. My only question was because one of the panelists referred to it. So the question is that as an editorial team, is that something that you look at consciously, to focus more on spending, to kind of give a buoyancy to the society's feelings?
No, it's not a conscious thing. We of course have a wealth page that it's taken from the ET Wealth. We take a full page of that in the Times of India on Mondays. That is a wealth advisory. But no, nothing is planned,
Maybe this panel will be a reflection then of more coverage on the
on the other side.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hello, sir. This is Sharath here. Yeah, I wanted to know, is there one single place where we get details of all the Ponzi schemes, frauds, like that? Yeah.
It's a very dynamic thing, right? Probably let's say now I put together a database or a platform to talk about all Ponzi schemes today. Tomorrow there will be 10 more, 100 more probably. So I think these guys, scamsters, are very intelligent and they use technology much better than a lot of these startups today. So I think it's a very dynamic thing. It keeps changing. Just that we need to be aware. I mean, we need to, probably the media has to play a very big role to create an awareness in people.
I just had one point to add. It is not related, but it is indirectly related. When I ask a youngster in my office how much time he spends to choose to buy his mobile phone, how much references he takes, how much details he asks, right? When I ask him how much time did you spend to invest or save, I mean, they just don't spend time. So one of the other angle of this scamsters or Ponzi scheme is also somebody promises 50% return. How can that happen? We don't even question that. Or somebody says some phone is faster than the leading phone. How can that happen? I think that behaviorally we start asking that question, I think we'll do a lot better as a society is something I would like to say.
Anybody else? No? Okay. Great. You wanted to say something about the book, Sudheer? Okay. No, thanks so much to all three of you. Wonderful discussion. And good to know the kind of changes that are happening. I wasn't aware that mutual funds, for instance, there's a big shift in that direction. And yeah, a lot of learning for me as well. Thanks so much.
Thank you all. A huge round of applause for our panelists.